Nazi fat. No. She will hit you with her cock.
I love a man who can feed me and fuck me.
Welcome back to Baby Daddies, the podcast where me and Imario recap Daddy TVs and Out TVs for the Love of Del Season 3. We just had our premiere and, it was gaggy. We did take a couple days to watch it because of Thanksgiving stuff. We had lovely times with our family and friends and loved ones and whatnot. But we're back and we're ready to get into some daddy himbo nonsense. Imario, how are you?
I'm doing great. I had a great Thanksgiving with my family. It was nice to just be out and away for a while. Thank you again for taking care of my son, your nephew.
Love the nephew.
I don't know if you can hear him. He's meowing down the hall right now. He's about to start his zoomies after dinner.
I can't hear him at all.
But mine was good. What about you?
It was good. I went to Vegas to see my siblings. I'm not from Vegas. I'm from Jersey, but both my siblings decided to move out there. Don't know why. Vegas is not my tea, but I had a fun time nonetheless. And then I came back and took care of the nephew and, had some friends over. We kept it very chill. It was very chill this holiday season. But yeah, and then I watched this episode and I was gagged. I'm excited. And let's just hop right in because we have quite the premiere to get through. So we start off, Stormy rolls up in a flashy red car. We got new cars, we got new mansions. 10,000 is being provided by Scruff this year. So
yes,
the come up. We're on the come up.
I really love the shot of Stormy just like driving with like the ocean and the cliffs in the back with Dvorak's from the New World because she bringing in the new hot stuff. Like I clocked the music. I was there. I went to music school.
See, you got that. I did not. And then for some reason, the ghostly apparitions of the past himbos and daddies are like flanking her as she gets out the car, which I thought was really fun. And our king, Phoenix, is the representative from the delegation to open the car door, which, my little pea brain is like, Phoenix is coming back this season. It's happening. I'm ready for Phoenix to walk out into DILF Mansion at like episode 4.
They've answered our prayers. We've been begging for Phoenix all through season 2. Literally every episode, like, when is Phoenix coming back? The Phoenix Revolution. When is she going to be reborn? She's here.
She's here like a phoenix. She rises, and like dust, still I rise. I like to think, and they can correct us if we're wrong. Even if Phoenix doesn't come back this season, Phoenix opening the door, that was for us. They did that for us.
They really did. Like.
They knew, they were like, oh, they're gonna get their life on this, and get our life. We did. Stormy has a nice little opening monologue. She says the conservatives haven't figured out how to stop her yet, and she says that she has to dress like a trashy magician assistant. But like I said, I was just in Vegas like a week ago, and the magician that I saw didn't have any clothing on. She just had a couple of tassels. So I guess Stormy is just a little more, and she was a fun magician. She had a lot of card tricks, but she was pulling cards out her coochie and everything. It was wild.
I mean, hey, like they said in Broad Cities, nature's pocket. You can put anything in there.
Exactly. She was making well use of nature's pocket. The new mansion, I don't know if you've noticed this, it's kind of like situated between like 3 giant barren plots of land that are like gray and dirt. And then the mansion itself is like just so lush. It's almost dystopian in a way. It's like this oasis in the middle of nowhere. But I kind of love it. The new mansion's cute.
It's very cute. When I saw it, I was thinking like, is someone gonna die here? It's giving like Family Guy, like that one episode where they were in the mansion by the cliff. Like that's what I was thinking. I hope no one dies in DILF Mansion. Like, please.
I hope not. We start off with the daddies entrances. First out, we've got Nicholas, and we've kind of given our first impressions, so we don't have to go that deep into these entrances. We'll kind of just run through them. Nicholas, Fairfield, California, 44. He's a father as well as a daddy. He sounds like he keeps very, very busy. And later in the episode, he says he has 2 catering businesses. This is a man who can provide. This is a man who
he really can. Like, I literally wrote here in my notes, my man got 2 jobs. Because that's literally what he was giving.
And a volleyball team. And fatherhood. And coaching or whatever he said he does everything. He keeps busy. I love a man who keeps busy. And I wasn't that far off. I said he was a chef. He has a catering business. He's two of them. My research is slightly, skewed, but I just want to point that out. I did get it wrong, but I was close.
You're the pop crave of daddy TV, I swear.
Yeah. What is it? I'm gonna do like daddy base or like pop daddy crave. That's gonna be my new Blue Sky account. Yeah, daddy crave. Right. I post updates. After Nicholas comes in Victor. He is a freelance writer and novelist. He's from LA by way of Florida, and he's an older gentleman with a certain sensibility.
It's not just Victor, it's Daddy Victor.
Daddy Victor. And the distinction when he walks up to Nicholas is, hi, Daddy Victor. Which is like as if Nicholas would have thought he was one of the himbo.
He had to clarify, it's not like, it's not Mr. Victor, it's not Dr. Victor, it's Daddy Victor.
Yeah, it's like when I'm gonna start doing that. I'm Dainty Jake, I can't say Demure no more, so it's just Dainty Jake.
Oh, no more Demure after Vegas?
No more Demure. Never Demure. Oh. Never that.
Oh.
Victor says he's anti-app culture, which, and this might just be me being, arguing over semantics. I get him, but I don't know. To me, whenever people are like, I'm anti-app culture, like I get it. I think there are still ways to make genuine connections despite the apps. And I feel like when people make being like anti-app culture their whole gig, I don't know. It just kind of it rubs me somewhat odd. That's probably mostly just me, though. I don't know.
I'm always for the apps. Like, if it wasn't for the apps, I probably would not have met you through Davix. I would have known about Cage Fight. So, like, I'm very pro app. So,
okay,
that's for me, though.
Yeah, the only pro app I am is a mozzarella stick. I'm sorry, that was stupid.
No, I was not expecting that. That was okay.
No, I am pro apps. I'm pro apps. I made most of my college friends through Grindr. I'm not gonna lie. I have made like lifelong friends through the apps. It's and also the show is sponsored by Scruffy's. Not by Scruffy.
Scruff. Oh,
not the conglomerate. The Scruffies.
Scruffies.
Scruff is sponsoring the show. They're gonna hear Victor say he's anti-app. Say, don't give him my money. They're really, so don't give him our money. Over at Scruff
like
HQ.
the little ASMR girl, like
thank you. Anyways, next up we got Fox from Louisiana. The first thing I have written here is that damn tongue is always out of his mouth. Every confessional. I was like, put that shit back in your mouth.
Leave the Gooners alone, okay? They're a proud race of people.
He's not just a father. He's a grandfather.
A grandfather.
But he looks very young. He said he was one of the older guys, but I'm like, he doesn't look it. Like, he looks a man of a certain age. I'm not saying he looks like a himbo, but age has treated him well. Let's say that.
No, the skin is flawless. Like, it is so smooth. No filter needed.
Oh. The body was bodying. My favorite thing that he said, I like to think I'm a top chef. I could feed you and fuck you.
I have that right here.
That's beautiful.
I love a man who can feed me and fuck me.
He seems like a fun ass time. Out of all the daddies so far, when he came out off the bat, he was the one I was like, this is someone I want to hang out with, Like, he just exudes that energy. He just seems like a good time.
Victor, if you're ever coming to Chicago, we love eating.
Yeah, hey. And last but not least, we have David, who splits his time between New York and Mexico. He's a real estate agent. And I don't know, something about him, I just feel like I know him. I don't know him personally, even though we're both from Jersey, but something about his like energy and like the way he walks, the way he dresses, something about him just feels very familiar to me. I don't know why. He's got some legs that don't quit. He's real tall.
Very tall.
Very tall. And I like when he's doing like the opening in the pool shots. He's got this like swimwear that's got like kind of like a dragon or something on the back with like a chain hanging out of it too. The chain is really cute. I thought that was a fun little way to differentiate rather than just being like, in a jock or in some swimming trunks. It was a little different. I liked it.
I think it's the new swimwear for 2025 because like, we had like the MCE, like the buckles on the side.
Buckles.
Now we got chains in the back. That's the new thing.
Chains in the back.
Mhm.
The daddies react to Stormy's dress. Very fun. Also, Stormy's in this like white blue kind of number. It's like starts off like white up top and it gets kind of like icy blue at the bottom. Very cute.
Good ombre dress. Love it.
Yeah, I love it. And then we get the himbos coming in all blue jumpsuits, which is very, very fun.
I have here Stormy says they look uncircumcised, and I wrote hashtag foreskin mafia because Boomer Banks, the queen of blue sky. Love it.
Have we talked about the foreskin warrior on this podcast, or did we only talk about that on Poison Touch? The foreskin warrior.
I know about the foreskin warrior.
I feel like you were there when I talked about him. He was when I was in college. I went to Temple University in Philadelphia. There was a man on Grindr, and he went by the foreskin warrior. I haven't told you about this. So the foreskin warrior.
I would have known a foreskin story.
He used to message everybody if you like said you were uncut, or he said you were cut, offering to try and like teach you in the ways on how to regrow your foreskin. Through like a variety of tactics and like clipping it to like make it grow back or whatever and all this stuff.
So not like a veneer tech, like a foreskin tech. Okay.
Yeah, he was like a foreskin tech. And I don't know why this man sticks in my head to this day. I just think it's so funny because I just think the foreskin warrior is such a name. Like that's someone you want to root for, you know? That's like Robin Hood, the foreskin warrior.
The real underdogs. Like
yeah, he's like for the people, by the people.
Foreskin warrior for the people. Okay.
Yeah. The first himbo that comes in, well, they all come in at once, but we get intros. We have Danny. He is LA's premier pocket bottom. I love that. That's a good line. He's one of those like jack of all trades in nightlife. I'm a bartender. I know lots of people like this. They're all very good fun. He loves his references. She's a girl who likes a reference because she says she likes big dicks and fried chicken, which is Jujubee. Famous line. And Danny and Nicholas are the ones that break the ice together, and they're both very joking and cracking jokes and having a good time. It's all very cute. And then Nicholas breaks the key.
I was not expecting that. I was like, damn, she's going hard with this hammer and the ice pick. Like she broke the key.
Nephew.
He's been crawling around the background at the ring light, and now he's like, come on, get down, baby. Daddy's working right now.
You hear that? Daddy is working.
Daddy's working.
Yeah, as we stated last episode, you're the daddy. I'm the him.
The baby.
Yeah, I'm the baby. I'm baby. Speaking of baby, the next himbo that comes in is Timmy, who is 21.
21.
21.
I remember when I was 21.
I don't, because I was very inebriated for most of that year. He's an influencer and a social media coordinator, which once again, I was correct. He does work for Paris Hilton. And he says, the one thing that grabbed me, he says, I've been in tons of serious long-term relationships that have ended very toxic. And yes, I'm very sorry to hear that. But also, you're 21. How many long-term relationships can you have by 21? But this is probably just, again, me arguing semantics.
Maybe it is. I mean, I just think of that tweet where it was like the 25-year-old consultants where it's like, what do you have to consult about? You're 25. Like, what have you known in life? And I'm like, oh.
Well, you could know a lot by even 21. I'll say that. But I long term, maybe, I don't know.
Listen, when you deep in it at 21, I will tell you, 3 months feels like forever. That's a whole semester.
Oh, okay? No, I get that. I understand that. I just don't know if I would call it long term. I think it could be short term, but
short term.
He wants a firm daddy, many such cases. And he likes big, tall, brolic men. You know, he's got like this like affectation when he speaks that I find very fun. Mm-hmm. Even though sometimes it makes him sound very sarcastic, which I think I also kind of suffer from. Sometimes I come up more sarcastic than I actually mean to. But yeah, Timmy's Timmy. Victor says that he likes Timmy so far because he seems more reserved, which I don't think Timmy seemed that reserved in his confessionals, but maybe in like a group setting, he came off more that way.
I can understand that because in a one-on-one situation, I definitely wouldn't seem reserved, but in a group setting, it's just like, it's the big personalities.
Yeah.
It's kind of cover me up a little bit, but I like me some Timmy. I'm ready to see more.
Yeah, I think Timmy had, we're not at that point where we're like counting confessionals yet, but
Oh,
You know, like they do for other shows.
the narrator of the season.
The narrator of the season. That being said, Timmy did have a lot to say in narrations this episode, which I mean, I thought that was pretty nice. It was good to hear from him. He's pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
And also, okay, so Victor says he likes him because he seems more reserved. Me, and this is just my experience, I think I would want someone a little more out there if I'm more reserved, as like a good foil to kind of my own personality, you know? Like John is a little more reserved, I'm a little more outgoing, but also we're both kind of like ambiverts, so we kind of swap those roles sometimes. I feel like Abel is more outgoing and you tend to be more of a homebody sometimes. And like, and you feel like the dynamic, if you're both too reserved, then what, y'all just gonna be at home cooking soup every day. But if you,
we literally had soup today. Clock me.
Well, you know, and if you're both too, you know, like callejero, you're gonna be in the streets all the time, and that's not gonna be good for either of you. So I feel like there has to be kind of like sort of a balance. So I don't know. If I was Victor, I would maybe look less for someone who's more reserved, and maybe someone who kind of like brings out parts of you and it kind of helps you shine that way. Which later in the episode, I feel like Danny might be that person.
Mm-hmm.
Because they can connect on that, and we'll get to this when we get to it, but he can connect with him on that social aspect and talk about, you know, building community and all that. But Danny, being as outgoing and bubbly, can kind of bring parts of that out of Victor, I feel. So I feel like rather than focus on someone more reserved, maybe that would be better for him. Next up, we've got Jay Seabrook, 27, from Vegas, works in a sleep center. I did not clock that at all, but now that I know that, I need him to figure out my snoring. We got to figure it out.
I mean, you know what I'm going to say. I done sent you tweets about it. You know what I'm going to say.
What? Not the CPAP. No. I refuse. I refuse. No, I need to pay a visit to the sleep center. So Jay, when you hear this, next time I go to see my siblings, I'm going to hit you up at the sleep center. Sister, figure out why I sound like this. He's got a winning smile. That's pretty much all I have written here.
The smile on Jay. I also wrote here Miss Jiggly J in my notes. Jiggly J with the smile. It's just 10 out of 10. I can't.
Yeah.
I was smitten.
Mm-hmm.
As a daddy, you know, I was smitten by this.
Of course. Yeah. This is being a himbo is about healing your inner child and showing your inner child. I don't know if that's what being a himbo is about, but I'm willing to take his word for it. You know, if that's what he says, whatever you say, baby. I'm not gonna argue.
I'm gonna stand by him.
I'm not gonna argue with someone who looks like that. Whatever you say, baby. Next up, we've got Justin. He's the smart, loud himbo. He's fun employed while he's an undergrad. And let me tell you, this is the first of 8 times we are going to hear this fun employed joke. So buckle up. And
I honestly had never heard the word fun employed before I met Justin. I'd never heard fun employed.
I heard it all the time in college. It's a very undergrad, like college joke. What? I was never fun employed because I had 3 jobs every semester.
Yeah, maybe my ass was also working full time when I was in school. Maybe that's why I ain't here, because my ass was at work.
Yeah, but I heard it from my friends who had money. My friends that were afforded the luxury to be fun employed, basically. Whereas I'm busting ass working my day job and my night job and 2 internships.
I was about to get up and say, clock that tea and shake some ass, but
clock it. That being said, he's from DC adjacent, and this triggered me. No, it didn't trigger me. I just happen to find most DC gays incredibly annoying. I feel like they are sticks in the mud. That being said, I don't think Justin is that, because he's cracking jokes during this ice breaking challenge, and you know, he's smashing my expectation of what a DC gay is, which is like a political stick in the mud. But he seems fun, if not a little rambunctious.
Oh, what a word, rambunctious. I don't feel like I know any DC gays. Like the closest DC thing I have is like Housewives of Potomac, which is not the same at all as these
I think
hippos.
I don't know any here, but back when I lived in New York, I knew a couple. And then my friend moved to DC, and I was like, "Girl, no, we gotta get you out of here. We gotta get you out of here." Yeah, we lost another one. Anywho, that's again your mileage may vary on that. After they break all the ice, they start disrobing. where everyone gets like a fun little slow-mo moment to take off the, it's very cute.
Show a little skin, little ooh.
Yeah, show a little this, show a little that. Justin gets tripped up immediately by the shoes. That's what would happen to me.
And the look Stormy gave was just like, girl, do you know what show this was? And immediately in my head, I was like, don't get the shoes. Don't get the shoes, baby. Like,
yeah, don't get the shoes. That being said, the jeans he has on under, fab. I love that.
I did like those jeans.
Fab. I'm also thinking logistically about how this was like shot. I'm like, did they shoot them disrobing beforehand and then like have them come out? Or was it like pause and then everyone did the disrobing like after the ice challenge? The camera just had to get all up in their face. So the daddies are like kind of watching as like the cameras are like moving around them. But again, it's me metagaming. I really, really like Danny and Timmy's outfits they gave. Timmy had the nice blue number on. Danny had on this like the camo pants and like the crop top. Super, super cute.
I do love me a good crop top. They always work. Like in every situation, you could always do a crop top.
Yeah. I need to wear more. Well, no. Let me work on this a little more. I can do more cardio, then we'll get there. Then we have an opening mixer. We're split into two groups. So there's David, J, Victor, and Timmy. And then there is Nicholas, Danny, Fox, and Justin. We don't really get a lot from Nicholas, Danny, Fox, and Justin.
No, I only have one line here. I do have Fun Employed again. I wrote that here. I have Fox as a daddy. When he said, I'm a daddy and a daddy, I was like, okay, like I'm gelling with Fox. He is good company.
Yeah, Fox is fun. We only get them talking about being fathers and grandfathers, and then we get Fun Employed the remix, and that's like pretty much all we got from them. I mean, that being said, the bulk of it is definitely in this kind of tug of war between Victor and David and
over
Timmy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Timmy plays his Paris Hilton note, which is very fun. That's hot.
It was hot.
That's hot. And Victor asks them if they have any favorite poets or poems. I don't think this is a good question to ask in any situation.
Why isn't it a good question? I thought, like, as a writer, I was like, okay, that seems like the logical question to ask.
I think asking someone if
they're
like their favorite author or something is different, or like authors they like. Listen. Poetry is all around us. It's music. It's an art. There are poems everywhere for those with the eyes to see it. Okay. Even earlier, I referenced it. Like dust, still I rise. I referenced a poem in this. Poems are everywhere. That being said, off the bat, off the cuff, can I name a poem that I like 100% or an author or like an author of poems, a poet? Like that quickly, it's like name a woman. It's like it's kind of like one of those things where like if you're put on the spot like that, it's just hard. Or like when people say, "Oh, I'm into architecture," and someone's like, "Oh, who's your favorite architect?" Girl, I don't know. I just said I like buildings. It's like one of those things. Like yes, I like poetry, but can I distinctly name a favorite poet or poem off the bat? Can you? If I were to ask you this question right now, which I am, what is your favorite poem or poet?
I would have gone the funny route and did a deflection and would have been like, oh, I love that Tortured One, Taylor Swift. I would have lied my ass off.
See?
Like, it's a poet. I mean, if you gave me a little bit more time to think, I've been thinking about it since you asked me. Like, I would have said Shel Silverstein, Where the Sidewalk Ends. I think it's a cute little book of poems we all grew up with.
Okay, yeah. See, I mean, Timmy does the deflection. He's like, "Girl, roses are red, violets are blue." I don't know.
Yeah.
Which, listen, I get, and they try to like play it off as a moment to like make the himbo seem dumb, but I'm like, I don't think that's it. I think this is a genuinely hard question to answer. When I watched it, I was like trying to think of one from myself. The only poem I can really think about that stands out in my mind all the time is this poem I read in high school. I don't know the name. I don't know the author. It's about a drag queen on her deathbed. She's dying of AIDS complications, and it details her like quote unquote final performance. I don't know the name of the author. I just remember how much it made me feel, how emotional it was. It's about like, I think it's called like All Her Pearls or something like that, because they talk about her pearls and Kaposi scars and using like balm to cover up the smell and stuff. It's very tragic and haunting, and it talks about like glamour and disease. And I don't know, that's the poem that sticks out of my head. But once again, don't know the name nor the author. So if you know what it is, if you're listening to this, help me out.
Put it in the comments, please. We need to know.
Yeah, I'm actually really would love to find it again.
I was David and Victor's fighting over Timmy. Two daddies over Twink. Tale as old as time. I don't know what else to say about it. It's a tale as old as time. You know,
Listen,
I mean,
many
Timmy's
such
cute.
cases.
Like I can see it.
Many such cases. Timmy's in my tea. I think Timmy and I would be sisters. I think Timmy's got a lot to say. Timmy gets into growing up and being bullied and gives us more of his background and stuff, which really you can tell David's like empathizing with him on that, and that's good. And then he's and also this is like, I feel like a lot of people just think New York and think New York City, but there are like literally anywhere outside of New York City, all of upstate New York, all that, it's like rural up there. You know what I mean? So yeah, there are tons of small towns that are just completely red and very, you know, not kind to queer youth. So
I didn't know that because I'd only been to New York twice in my life. The most recent time was like 2 months ago, and I was only in New York. I didn't even think about all the parts upward that could be red. So when he said that, I was like, wait,
big ass
that's
state.
up there?
Yeah. It's a big ass state. I love how he said, I've lived 7 lives, or whatever they say.
Whatever they say about cats, right, Quesadilla? He's crouched. He's in my lap right now.
How do you mess that one up? Anyway, after this, the himbos and the daddies get into their bedrooms and they're talking about who bottoms, and Justin says he's ideologically and politically against bottoming, which go off, sister.
Listen, anti-bottoming, save the penguins, okay?
Yeah. And then Victor brings up Timmy, knowing damn well David's gonna pipe up about it. He's like giving him little breadcrumbs to try and like evoke something out of him. And the himbos are talking about daddy swapping. Finally, this is what I want to see. I have been waiting. My biggest complaint from the start of the show has always been that the himbos and daddies, for the most part, kind of just stick with whoever they meet first. You know?
That is a thing. In season 2, we did get a little less of that, but the person who did it, Aaron, if I remember, was like, hey, we need to meet different daddies. They
shot him down.
Yeah,
they shot him down hard.
Like, but it's a dating show, like Candy said. It's a roast. Like, so
yeah. So I'm glad that they're all kind of like on board for being like, yeah, we're here to meet all these people. Let's meet all these people, you know? The daddies, not so much, because later in the episode, Fox is like, Jay is mine. Victor is like, Timmy's mine. David's the only one who's like, yeah, let's meet other people. But even while he's saying that, he's saying it to the end goal of only talking to Timmy. So it's not like he wants to meet everyone else. He just wants to talk to Timmy. So, you know, there's a bit of an...
It makes for good TV.
It does. It does. But there's definitely an ideological divide in terms of whether you stick with the pair or whether you meet other people. And then they get some Tyra mail, for lack of a better word.
Good thing you didn't use the other one that's banned from RuPaul. Well, I was really going to write that.
Oh, yeah. They get a he-mail.
Oh my
that
God.
comes with
Victoria
the boombox.
Scone is going to find this.
Yeah, girl. They get a boombox and they have to listen to 2, you know, himbos and 2 daddies to figure out who they want to let in the house next. The himbos get to listen to Adonis and Samuel, and the daddies hear from Patrick and Robert. I have written here, Samuel is the BB himbo, Adonis is the Cuban poppy. Adonis, he says this, yeah, I have the body of a god. I have the name of a god and the body to match it. But it sounds like he's supposed to say something after that, like it's teeing up for a third thing. Like the inflection is like, yeah, I have A and I have B, but C. You know what I mean? Like it should have been like, I don't know. It just sounded like it was teeing up something that didn't come. And then Patrick is the globetrotting daddy and Robert is the tired sales exec.
Oh, I wrote here tired old showgirl, but...
No, that's according to Nicholas. Yeah, tired old showgirl.
That's what Nicholas said.
That is what Nicholas said.
I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, in so many words. The daddies are shook up by Patrick, and they're like, "Oh no! So let's bring Robert in." Foreshadowing. Foreshadowing. Timmy says, "I thought this is something my grandparents used in the 50s or 60s." I was like, "Girl,
yeah." Hey, mama, welcome to the 60s. Because they had boomboxes in Hairspray, I guess, you know.
I guess. I'm like,
Listen, Timmy don't know about that, okay? Cut her some slack.
are the youth unaware of like b-boys? Does breakdancing mean nothing to y'all? You know,
The
bootboxes are,
breakdancing, it was a meme at the Olympics. That's what I know.
yeah, that's all they know. Victor and David go out for a little chat. I have right here, David's legs don't quit. Because in this, the full body shots of both of them, David just has legs for days.
Mm-hmm.
And Victor's like, well, what's tea with Timmy? And David says, you know, I like his ambition, his story. And then Victor's like, okay, well, what does that mean for you? I mean, you know damn well what it means for him, bitch. Girl, come on
This
now.
brings back like episode 2, when the twins is like, are y'all gonna fuck? Like, that's what it kind of reminded me of, honestly, that conversation.
Very bad. It's like, girl, just let them talk. And Victor's like, no, Timmy's the one. And David's like, well, you know, we should connect with the other himbos, but also let me talk to Timmy. And then they basically like end it and shake hands. But then David does it like, you know, I like to call it the like aggressive male head nod. We're like, okay, yeah, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this was nice. It's like, oh, chill it, pump the brakes. And then Timmy and Danny talk about daddies fighting over people, and that's pretty much it. Which leads us to the Delta Himbo Nudes frat party.
Yes, the Delta Himbo Nudes.
Lead us through this.
I would have loved a Scream Queens reference there. Let me start out with that, because I'm Scream Queens pilled forever.
I was looking at the Greek alphabet. I was like, is there a way to make it look like it says fag? And then there's not really a good way to like have like, because you know it's always 3 letters. So I was like, oh, I wonder if there's a way to do it. There really wasn't a way to do it, but it would have been silly.
And here, first we start off with Victor talking to David, like, are you having fun? And in my mind, Lady Gaga's just the, I'm not having fun tonight, because David was very not happy, because they was both trying to get up in Timmy, and Timmy was just in the middle, just like loving it. He and Danny were talking earlier on the dock about like, you know, Danny was like, what if 2 daddies fight over you? And Timmy was like, I'm gonna live for it, you know, it's what I came for. And baby, they fighting, they swatting. First, it starts off with, like I said, Victor having fun. They're talking, and Victor says, you know, I brought a typewriter. I could write a poem for you. And I don't know if he played Alan Wake or not, but a lot of things went bad when you got a typewriter by a lake, but we'll save that for another podcast.
How did this man bring a typewriter? Typewriters must have gotten smaller in recent years, right? Like they got to be tiny now.
I think so.
I know he's not lugging around this big old The Shining, you know, all work and no play makes Victor. You know, I don't know. Does he think he's gonna get some writing done here?
I mean, from what we were told about the filming schedules, baby, there ain't no time for writing. Them cameras start at 7 a.m. and they clock out at 11 p.m.
Yeah, and then I feel like on your day off, you're not gonna want to be writing. You're gonna be like so tired from filming. You're just gonna be chilling. I don't know. I appreciate the expectation of telling yourself you're gonna write and bringing a typewriter. I just don't think, from what we know of the production schedule, good luck, Charlie. But yeah, good.
So Victor, so David combats the typewriter with like, you know, I really enjoyed your life story. You know, I really appreciated what you had to say earlier. And then to get to know them better, Timmy's like, can I spank both of y'all with a paddle? And they were like,
fun way to break the tension. Fun way.
The best way.
The best way. I do think if David had said what he said in his confessional, it would have fared better. Like, well, you know, because realistically, like him being like, you know, I like your story. It's like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. But that's not a typewriter. If he had just straight up said, you know, I don't have a typewriter, but I could do lots of other things, you know, that would be like, ooh.
See, you gotta bring it out. I mean, I know the confessionals are like, you know, the aside things, but like bring some of that stuff out, because that's how you get it.
You gotta play the game in that personal session. So yeah, they do the frat paddle thing. Victor says gently. I said, girl, if you don't take that damn paddle, take the paddle, because then David sees that and is like, oh no, harder.
I can take it.
You know? So like if you're really in competition with this daddy, you don't want to have him see gently, girl, it's a paddle. You'll be okay, you know? So I wish he had been a little more gung-ho about like, leaning into the experience of it and be like, yeah, hit me, instead of being like, no, gently, like, no, you can handle it.
Victor's tender. Okay, listen, like artists, like we're
Yes,
soft.
but when we're in competition, sometimes
Okay, no,
sometimes
baby,
you get hit with the paddle
man.
and then you sit on the donut later, okay?
The don't. Oh God.
Because they
Yeah,
got
leave me
donuts
some
on set.
preparation age.
They got donuts on set. I'm not. I know they got them. Anyway, that's what I thought.
I enjoyed the little paddling moment. I wrote here David had that cheek jiggle when he was getting smacked. I mean, it's the legs all the way up to the ass. Like it's
That he did.
Mhm.
And then afterwards they kind of break away, and then Danny comes up to Victor, which was what I was talking about earlier, and they strike up a conversation and talk about writing and community building. And Danny talks about like he works with a lot of
The
Asian
Asian
nightlife
community.
performer, the Asian community, and is sets up cabaret shows and drag shows and dinners and all that stuff, which Victor really likes. And I feel like they are building up to them, at the very least, getting to know each other a little bit more, which is interesting. Let me break over to Jay, Fox, and Nicholas. The daddies do not want to share.
The daddies are greedy this season.
They're greedy this season, girl.
So Fox, Jay, Nicholas, they're talking. The first question Jay asks, like, so how do y'all connect with people sexually? Because, I feel like it's one of those things that people like don't want to talk about, but also it's important because like emotional compatibility is great, but like sexual compatibility also matters too.
Yeah,
Like,
I
mean,
feel like the
I can't fuck
question
your
was
brain.
vague because I don't know if how Nicholas responded was really answering the question. Because Jay said, "What turns you
Deflection.
on?" And Nicholas says, "I'd run you a bath." That doesn't necessarily correlate. Also, earlier, I want to touch on this real quick because I thought this was interesting. When Jay is like, "Do y'all like what you see?" And Fox says, "As if I could turn that down." You know what I mean? Meaning like,
he did.
like, are you
Yes.
crazy? Of course I like what I see. But Nicholas mishears him or like misunderstands what he means. And is like, well, I wouldn't turn you down. And I'm like, no, girl, that's not what he was saying. So it's like, they had this like miscommunication that just ended up in this awkward moment. And then, because then Fox had to explain what he said. And it was like, no, like, it was weird. But yeah, then he says, I'm gonna get you flowers, run you a bath and all that stuff. And Jay says, okay, lot to think about, which, from what I know of JC Rook, don't know if that necessarily, if he cares that much about that.
I'm not going to say I know Jay, but I mean, like, I know how to get the girl what she wants. I know she wants tickets to a show. She wants to go to a rave.
But she's like, a bath, fuck a bath. I want to be out on the street. Like I want to be dancing. Take me to the rave.
From what Nicholas was going for, so Nicholas, he's a working man. He got 2 jobs, he kids, he got the whole thing. So maybe his idea of intimacy was like, let me run you a bath, we'll have a good chill evening. Like, I think that's where he was trying to go. Listen, but maybe it didn't come out right. That.
But with how much he works, baby, let me run you a bath. Let's help you decompress. Me, I'm decompressed. I'm hungover from the rave yesterday. I spent all day chilling. I had some fun. I'm good. Let's get you decompressed. Then Stormy enters, and she's in this like sickening black dress and trench coat moment, which is very, very fun. And she introduces us to the new daddy and himbo that jump in. First up, we got Samuel, 27, from LA. And this is just a reminder, these promo pics, and I'm sorry to whoever the photographer is, these promo pics did nobody justice.
No, the photographer was great. They're great pictures. The editing is great. But like seeing them live moving around in the episode, I was like, baby, everyone here is like 10 times hotter than the photos.
I try to be kind. I just don't think they were good photos. This is no shade to the photographer. I just don't think they were good photos. None of the photos did anyone justice because literally every single person looks way more hotter
miles hotter.
Miles hotter. Samuel comes up and I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. And from what we got the photo, I was like, Samuel's cute, but I was like, oh my God,
No, when Samuel came out that water and the one piece, the singlet thing, I was like, ooh, I am, what I'm gonna say? Mama, pussy was creaming. She was wet.
Oh my God. He wants a communicator, a role model, someone direct. He said his fun fact was that he had assets in the front, assets in the back. I don't know if I like that as a fun fact, but all right.
I
That's,
mean, I had fun with the facts.
I don't think I liked either of their fun facts, but that's because to me a fun fact is like something that's like really obscure. And I guess Robert's was obscure, but even then I was like, this is kind of boring. I wanted Samuel to say something, that would really gag us, like he ate a mosquito in the 4th grade and I don't know.
We love Fear Factor. Okay.
I don't know, something fun. Assets in the front and assets back where we can see them.
She did come out in the tidy whities and the shoes. That's it. Oh, and socks. And socks.
Yeah. Which great fit. Next up we got Robert. It's the daddy that comes in. I have right here body. And Dr. Dill says, I guess Robert sounds tired from the gym, fellas.
Robert came out. That's literally the first word I wrote. That's what Fox gave us. It said body. Like it was body. Like I could hear the.
Yeah, which I think it's less that Robert sounds tired. Well,
he sounds. The word I would use, I'd say he sounds very like clinical, very business, because he did say he's a retired sales executive.
I have written here, years of sales executive training is why he talks like that. I didn't know how else to I'm still trying to formulate how I think about how he speaks. To me, he speaks kind of like an accountant almost. I don't know. I think clinical is probably the best word. Yeah.
It's very just like, their boots, though. Hey, you're in debt.
Yeah.
That's that's what I get.
Mm-hmm. So the daddies are shaking in their boots because they're like, Jesus, we picked the wrong one. We picked the wrong one. Robert is also a father. And also from upstate New York, which I wonder if that'll come up between him and Timmy later in the season, or if they're going to even have a chance to talk, because it looks like Robert and Samuel actually hit it off pretty well.
They chose each other.
I really like how Samuel speaks, like the way he talks. I feel like is very, it like kind of like draws you in a certain way. I don't know. Pay attention to how he speaks next time you watch episode 2. Because to me, I was like, oh, I just really like how he talks. I don't know. I just want to hear him talk.
If you want to read us any books, like, we will accept all messages, photos, and voice notes. We will take whatever you got to give us, Samuel.
We'll take it. Yeah, we'll take it. And then we can use that to help train Robert to unlearn years of sales work fighting against him. Because you could tell Robert wants to have fun. He wants to have fun. But that sales training is like...
it gets you. She's whipped.
Yeah, we need the peaks, we need the valleys, we need to emo bitch.
Now that you say that is one note I wrote here whenever he was doing his little voiceover on the ancient boombox technology, was I kind of wanted more highs and lows. And I'm like, maybe it's different, like, being on camera is scary, but now that it all makes sense with the sales executive thing, like, oh, that's why.
Yeah,
they're not allowed to get peaks and valleys. You get this.
But when he's talking to Samuel, he like laughs and has more of it. I just think when he's doing the confessionals, it feels a little more stiff. And that, obviously, that comfort comes with time. It is hard to sit in front of a camera and talk. Listen, I get it. I do it all the time. It is very hard to sit in front of a camera, especially when a bunch of people are watching you, to like speak authentically, or at least try to speak authentically, And so I think when we see him talk with the other daddies, the other himbos, I'm like, that's him. That's Robert, But then when we get the confessional, it's like, this is the more calculated, clinical kind of side of it. And he just feels a little less comfortable, which, to be fair, this is his coming out. He says so. This is his coming out experience. He is the Caitlyn Jenner of daddies in terms of coming out.
Okay.
That is one way to come out. Like when I say that, I mean like coming out in the biggest way possible. You know what I mean? Like instead of a Vanity Fair cover, he came on for the love of DILFs.
I can see that. I wrote here in my notes. We need to get him the Ellen special, like ASAP. That's what he needs right now.
Yeah. Let's just hope he didn't hit someone with his car.
I wasn't going to say that because as soon as you said the Caitlyn experience, I was like, so he almost killed somebody or did? Like,
no, God, no. Anyway, that brings us to the end of the episode with the Dr. Dilf call where Stormy says there's a love triangle. And this is a pet peeve of mine because it's not a love triangle. A love triangle implies that all three parties are into each other. Victor and David are not into each other yet. We don't know. There could be some daddy on daddy this season. It's something we've been asking for it, you know.
I feel like you're over here banging on the desk when the camera cuts off, like, damn it, I'm gonna get my daddy on daddy action, whether they like it or not. Like,
yeah, exactly. And then Stormy chugs a beer, and listen, Stormy girl, love you. We needed to practice this chug a good 8 more times off camera with water. Practice it with water, because this chug was weak.
I mean, as a bartender, you're the most certified to talk about chugs.
It was weak. I'm just saying, we swirl it around. You know, we want to really open that throat up, because this is you on this is you on the world stage. You know, you want to show them that you could chug it like that. I would have been in my dressing trailer, give me another bottle of water. You know, I would have been really, really committed to trying getting the best chug possible. And I think she probably could have done that with a little more practice. But that's, again, I'm nitpicking.
You are nitpicking. But now that you say that, I'm like replaying the scene in my head. Like, imagine like the chug it, and then she just puts the bottle down. She says, "That's why Republicans can't stop me yet."
It would have been, or not even, just smash the bottle on the ground. It would have
throw
ate.
it.
It would have ate. It would have ate. That's what we wanted. And instead, the chug was like mid, and she didn't even finish it. But like, I don't know. We ended up with a very fun, very saucy teaser for the rest of the season. And I'm excited to watch episode 2. Who are you? What pairing so far? We've only got a couple pairings so far, but which pairing are you most excited for?
I think the pairing I'm most excited for, I'd have to say, I kind of want to say Jay and Fox. Just seeing them together, I could see something there, and I want to explore more of that.
Yeah, I also had them listed, and I had Robert and Samuel. I want to hear more about them as well, or if they're going to stick together, or try to explore other options. Because I could see Robert and Timmy becoming a thing.
Robert and Timmy could be a thing. I mean, Robert sounds exactly like the kind of man Timmy wants from the description.
Tall, brolic men, and they're both from upstate New York, so like geographically they're in a very similar area. So like I feel like if that ever comes up, that'll be more on them to be like, oh, this like is something that could actually work, instead of having another rehashing of the storyline of I'm on the East Coast, you're on the West Coast, you know.
We meet each other in every universe, I swear.
Yeah, we are all joined under the same sky.
Wait, wasn't that a web thing? Like, what, they're all...
She will hit you with her car.
Oh, that's...
Anywho, thank you for watching Baby Daddies. I've been Jake. You can follow me at Poison Touch Pod or at Crowcunk on Instagram to catch all my, general daily stuff or my podcast stuff for the Poison Touch Advice Hour, the podcast where I give you the best and worst advice for all of life's predicaments. Also, I'm not on Twitter anymore. I'm on Blue Sky. That's at crowcunk.com. Because, fuck Twitter. And Imario, where can the girls find you?
You can find me making my pussy real creamy at Booty Origami.
Holy
You're going to cut that one out. Like,
no, that's staying. You say that jaw floor.
I had to make a moment to clip it later. My name is Imario. You can find me making my pussy creamy at Booty Origami on formerly Twitter. I'm still on Twitter, but I have also moved to Blue Sky because that's where all the good stuff is. On Instagram, and I'm on Twitch every now and then. I play little spoopy games, see a little Phasmophobia,
And that's all Booty Origami. We'll catch y'all next week for episode 2 of For the Love of DILFs, which, I'm just gagged. I'm excited. We got a whole season ahead of us. All right, we'll catch y'all.
Oh my God.
Bye.
Bye.
The only pro I am is a mozzarella stick.